ilé àtọ́mọ́ lọ́kàn lára nílé kápá sọ́jú ẹ̀gbọ́n rẹ̀ tó má ṣe fi wá sí sọ́jà náà. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the living God. Please someone here in Yoruba, please. Please someone here. This time is going. Quick,
This one, I've lost one stone. When people will say, what type of... Yeah, okay, me, I think I've okay, through my face. About where is my camera? You don't do the work.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. How is a small Scottish man supposed to follow all of that? The Holy Spirit is moving very powerfully here tonight. Praise the Lord. I want to bring you greetings from the churches around Britain and Ireland to wish you a very happy anniversary. This is a very special occasion. The 10th anniversary of James Ozee's passing, but also a big anniversary in terms of your congregation. And I want to say a big thank you for your invitation to be here and to see your Apostle Oyewole for his warm words. He too has been a brother to me over these last years. And I want to say that we don't know much about sheep because so much of our lives are kept in the city. They're away from the land, away from the places where we encounter so much of nature. And the reason I mention that is because we imagine that everything is ordered in the country. We imagine that all the sheep are going to be held together in the pen. We heard powerful testimony about the way in which we have the one shepherd who looks after the flock. But I want to say tonight that if it wasn't for people like James Ozee, who pushed out from the fold, who went to the edges, who wanted to encounter other people and to bring justice to different situations, then we wouldn't be here doing the things that we're doing tonight. It's because he was able to go to the edges of places, knowing that the Good Shepherd is working, is there with him, looking after him, giving him his bearings, that we're able to achieve what we are tonight. So God is good. I wondered what I could say from my own experience that you would be able to share here tonight. And the only thing I can say, and I'll say more about it, but the only thing I can say is that I love God and that I want to speak to you tonight from my own heart. And I hope that some of the things that I say about how God is working with me might find some resonance for you. I want to say that when we think of the work that James Ozee and Arlington Trotman and Jerry Oyewole and others have started, the work of racial justice, that work was begun and some things were achieved, but the need is still huge. That when we look around our world at the injustices that are taking place, that we need to go beyond here, we need to take the justice that flows from God and continue to work for it. And the best thing that we can do to honour those who have gone before us is to pick up their work and to continue doing it, because that need is still so great. And when we look around our world today, when we look at next week's elections, when we look at the wars that are being waged around the world, we recognise the need for justice. That God needs to be allowed to break in and bring peace and justice. And we need to pray and pray, because God is great. I want to tell you a story about a man who was very special to me. He died many years ago. But the story is told of how he went to encounter a wise man. And this is what happened. He went to a Greek island, and he was walking towards the place where he'd been told that the monk lived. I'll read you this section. Walking towards the location, he met an angry-looking lady coming the other way. "If you're going to see that monk," she said, "then save your time. I came all this way, and all he talked about for an hour and a half was flowers and plants." But my friend Roland arrived at the cave, and he sat in front of the monk, who pointed to a rock. And so he sat down. The monk sat quietly, looking directly at a fidgeting friend of mine for almost half an hour. And he said that he thought that he was looking straight into his soul. And the monk stood up, and my friend Roland stood up, and then he said, "Those who lean on Jesus' breast hear God's heartbeat." And those words have stayed with me for a long time. Those who lean on Jesus' breast hear God's heartbeat. How special it is for us to lean on Jesus, to be able to hear his heart. Because our heart says so much about who we are. We talk about someone having a broken heart, how his heart was not in it, how, well, we know all the things about the heart. It says something about our deepest sense of ourselves. And therefore, to be able to lean on Jesus and to hear Jesus' heartbeat is to lean and hear the very essence, the very source of God's love. And so I want to say to you today that we should continue to lay our ears, lay our heads on Jesus' breast so that we can hear his heartbeat. But I thought that one of the things that I should do tonight, we've had some wonderful testimony. We've had very powerful words. And I want to simply add some of my own words and some of my own story. And give my own testimony about what God is doing in my life as well, and perhaps doing something similar in your own lives. Over the last 3 years or so, we have found that in my own family we have had a number of bereavements. Over the last 3 years, we've had 6 members of my family who have died, including both my parents. And where that left me was in a place to say, where do I belong? What is this trying to say to me? What is this moment saying to me? Where do I have my belonging? And I sensed that the church that I was in at that time wasn't the right place for me to be. And so I decided that I needed to step aside and to give time to prayer and to setting time aside where I was able to try and discern what God was trying to say. And that process has gone on for 3 years. And sometimes it's been very painful, and sometimes it has felt very lonely. It's been the desert, the place where Jesus was taken for many of his temptations. And yet what has been coming back to me is this. Again, I want to just to read this one little sentence. This is what has been coming through to me constantly. Our only desire and our one choice should be this. I want and I choose what better leads to God's deepening life in me. In other words, rather than saying that I want this, that, and the next thing, what I'm saying is, Jesus, I want to be in relationship with you. I want you to come and deepen your life in me now. It's not about what I desire now. It's not about what I need now. What I desire is for you to come and be in my life and to do whatever you want that deepens your life in me. How often is it that we are in a place where we seem to be looking for the things that matter to each one of us, rather than saying, God, deepen your life in me. There's a sense in which I feel that God is stripping me down. And it's said that when you encounter God, God doesn't build you up, He strips you down. God cleanses you for the task that's ahead. And I wonder, what is it that in our mission here, in your mission in this congregation, in each of our lives, that God is stripping us down and saying, be prepared for your new ministry? What are the things that our hearts longing? What does Jesus long for each of us? And what do we long for in our lives? It seems to me that when we are in the midst of life, that we can be overtaken by so many needs and so many desires. But what God is also saying to me, strangely, perhaps, is He's also saying, and this is a voice that I keep on hearing, the voice that keeps saying, get smaller, get smaller, get smaller. And what does this voice getting smaller mean? What it means is that there has to be less of me and more of God. That there has to be more of God in our lives and less of what I'm wanting. Do I need a new car? Do I need a new television? Do I need a new this, that, or whatever? No. What I need is God coming into my heart and into my life and saying, I'm deepening my life in you. You are mine. I love you. I want to work through you. And I'm reminded of that story of the feeding of the 5,000 when Jesus is confronted with this crowd with huge needs. And the disciples are saying, send them away. And Jesus says, no, do not send them away. They are here for me. They want to be with me. But the amazing thing about the story, well, one of the amazing things, there's so many amazing things, that they were all fed. But who was it who brought the gifts? Who was the person who came forward with those gifts? It wasn't the great, it wasn't the good, it was the small boy. It was the smallest one who came forward as the one who was greatest. And that's why we have to keep on saying, less of me, more of you. More of God. Less of me, more of God. So this thing about get smaller is very powerful. And also the thing that goes with that is the constant refrain of what is being poor in spirit mean? What does being poor in spirit mean? How can I be poor? I have so much, I have everything. I have so much more than most of the people in the world. How can I have a